go. Okay, cool, recording. There we go. Yeah, I've been watching, I've been looking at your pictures. Yeah, you know, it's not going to come straight away. It's getting your whole posture kind of used to your whole new posture feel. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense. But like I said before, the more times you do it, the more natural it will become. Also, if you've looked on my Instagram, I did a video with Jessica and just illustrating, just displaying how we can work on our posture just off the ground, which you can also do maybe in your bedroom. You know, get a mirror somewhere where you can maybe see yourself a lot easier than on that exerciser there, and just work on getting your shoulders out more. Just pull my picture out. Getting your shoulders out more this way than this way. But obviously when you're crouched over the exerciser off the saddle, that's quite hard because you need to come up this way, but then you need to come this way. That makes sense? Yeah?
Because it does move slightly as well.
Yeah, but that's good because then that's going to make it harder for your core, for your legs, which is good. Look, if it's not hard, you're not doing something right in a way. Sounds a bit weird that, but you know, if you were finding it easy, put it that way, you'd be doing something wrong, most likely.
Yeah.
Right, okay then, so let's look at your first posture. Stage 1. Okay, so that's nice, as in what I'm going to say now. So you've got a nice kind of wide bridge. Your hands, your wrists are facing the right way now. Okay, I can't see your foot, but don't worry. It looks parallel, so don't worry. It's fine. But now we just need to work on from the bottom of your spine or above your bum, let's say, yeah, right the way up to your shoulder. That bit there, okay, is just a little bit like this. And again, we can be strict, okay, because when you come to ride on the track, that would be fine. But when we're in training, when we're in the academy, when we're at the gym, as it were, we want to work on that muscle to work it like this more than like this. Remember I said to you, I think it was you, it might have been somebody else that I had an online session with yesterday. You know, we all sit a little bit wrong. I'm probably sat with my back arched this way, look, where I should be sat like this. So the more I can sit like this, it's going to do my muscles a lot better, isn't it? Yeah, so that's why we kind of have this quite strict posture, okay? So try and get your shoulders out and not rolled round. So do the same thing again, because everything's looking nice, it's just we've got to work on that back. Now bring your chest out, shoulders back and chest out. Yeah, it's a little bit better. And now can we raise your backside up? That's it, and I'll do that now. Now bring your chest out. Yeah, that's better there. Leave that right there. Hold there. Do not move. And even better, now you've got your head, your chin tucked in. Hold that there. That's what we want to be working on. Okay, your back's not completely concave and straight, but it's a lot better there. Now it's just working that muscle memory continuously, spaced repetition. Okay, hold there for 30 seconds if you can. We try. Okay, 30, 29, 28. Bring your shoulders, chest out. 27. Think about what you're doing. We still have to use the consciousness more than the subconscious. 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. How are you feeling? 19, 18. That's good. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. How are we feeling? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, well done. That's good. So the improvement from the last session, Charlie, you've got to realise is really good, yeah?
Yeah.
Brilliant. But we're still in static mode because, you know, let's walk slow before we even start trying to trot. Work on that foundation. You know, you can have a nice strong house looking the part, but if the foundation isn't correct, bit of wind, it's gonna blow down. So we want your foundation to be nice and strong and correct when we start going into stage 2, more stage 3, because that's when it starts getting a bit harder. Yeah.
So towards the end of that 30 seconds, my weaker leg leg starting to wobble a bit.
Because you're broken leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, well that's fine. Don't be doing it where it's too much pain. And
It's not painful. It's just kind of like shaking the muscle.
yeah, because you've got lack of muscle in that one leg.
Yeah.
What did the doctor say exercise-wise to do to recover?
So I last saw him. It was a couple of months ago, just before all this kind of kicked off a bit more.
Yeah,
I was going to go and see him in 6 weeks, and he said I can start riding on the 18th of April.
yeah.
I'm allowed to go short slow runs, but I can build it up a bit now.
Okay, right, so if you're willing then and your leg's not hurting you too much, we'll do stage 1, but we'll be a lot quicker. We'll like kind of do 10 seconds, but as long as with that back's just, a little bit more straight. Then we'll go into stage 2 and just bring everything down like a framework, coming lower and more around the horse. And we'll do that.
Back flat, but you just kind of move the back side downward.
Yeah, just drop down, but don't try and drop down too much. All I'm doing this for is to make the muscles that little bit more intense, that little bit more harder. And again, like I said to you last week, it's the equivalent of the second part of a 3-stage race where you're going to start having to make your move in the race, having to get lower, possibly work your body a little bit more. So all that's the only reason we're doing this, and it's just to make it tighter. So we drop down a little bit. Don't try and get too low, because if you get too low, your back's going to do this straight away. So even if you just got from here to here, that would be fine. Just just that little bit lower. Yeah, that's it. And now bring your chest out. Yeah, like that. Just like that. And hold. I know it's difficult. Yeah, and you've got a nice space between the knee and the inside of your saddle, which is good, the knee roll of your saddle. Not that there's really a knee roll, but... And then what we're going to do from there, we'll have a sit down in between though, don't worry, but we'll do stage 1, now we're on stage 2, and then we go to stage 3 and we start pushing, and this is where we'll see how good your equicizer is. Okay, it might be quite hard if you've got rope instead of reins and that neck not being too sort of spring. Pardon?
I have got like coming.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But that's good. Just doing that, mate, and timing yourself and increasing that time every day. That's it. Sit, relax, maybe take your feet up the arms, have a little shake of your legs, have a little walk around the garden. Don't overdo it, but when you do the exercise, the technique, be strict on yourself. That's the main bit. That's the main point. So we're going to combine those together now. Have a little breather first. We'll do stage 1 again, 10 seconds. Then do stage 2, 10 seconds. And then we'll have a breather and we'll sit down and start again. And then we'll go to the next stage, the 3rd stage of actually pushing. Yeah?
Yeah.
And this is the bit, this is kind of the hardest bit, but we might not be ready for it yet, but we'll find out, won't we? And you have gone on my YouView channel, haven't you?
Yeah.
Because there's some good videos on there. I'm having trouble sometimes sharing it on Instagram, but if you just go to the link, you can go to Nick Bentley and you can look at all the different...
I found it. I tried to make an account subscribe.
Yeah.
But it didn't let me. It wouldn't link to my email address.
Okay, that's strange.
So I'm going to try again.
Try again, yeah. It's just good because it will just help promote me and promote you, because if I get lots of views, it keeps me on page 1 where you'll be, this video will be, and we can get more views. It all helps. Do you know what I mean?
I did start watching your seminar.
Yeah.
That's useful.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And I've watched some of your other lessons.
Yeah.
See kind of what
Yeah.
I do.
Because all the lessons, they're structured the same way. Obviously, they're different clients, different jockeys, but I structure all my lessons exactly the same way. So it's a great idea to do that. Go through the lessons and see how we do stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. And then there's some good seminars of core strength and nutrition. I think I've got one up there on nutrition. It might be on YouTube still, which I need to scrape across. But yeah, no, that's good, mate. Also, don't forget, I might have an Equicizer that I might know of that's for sale.
Cool.
So we can discuss that another time, but that's cool. Right, so let's do stage 1. And when I say I'm happy, we'll go to stage 2. So away you go. Stage 1. Good. Look ahead, chin in, that's good. We'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now go into stage 2. Just drop down a little bit lower, that's good. That's it. That's it. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's cool. Have we got a stick, Charlie?
Yeah.
Yeah, always carry your stick. Please, from now on. Who do you ride out for?
I was at Hatter Stevens,
Right.
but I haven't been back yet.
And how old are you again?
16.
16.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. That's good. Great age to.
I'm going to the National Racing College.
Brilliant. Cool. No, all good stuff. Yeah, just let's throw the stick into the mix. I'm not worried about you really waving it or showing it or anything, but just maybe I might say to you, just pull it through to the left, pull it through back to the right.
So how do you pull it through?
Okay, so you've never done that.
No.
Okay, so there you go. Again, go on to my YouTube channel. I'm not sure if I've scraped these across to the U view, but there's a video on there on how to change the stick correctly. Because do you know how to change your hands and get a shorter hold of the reins? So all you're doing the exact same thing, but the stick's, in between your thumb and your fingers.
Yeah.
So as you go down and change your hand, you then just pull the stick through this way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? But watch the video and then we'll have a go at doing it kind of on a, with a session like this.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so let's do the 3 stages. Don't worry too much about stage 3. I'm just going to let you have a go at it for 20 seconds. You're going to be tired because we're going to do a good 5 or 6 seconds on stage 1, then on stage 2. Then ideally I want to see 30 seconds, but don't worry if your back goes to pieces, as it were. Just, I want to see you pushing for 30 seconds.
Am I pushing throughout the whole thing?
No. Stage 1, as we've done already. Stage 2, as we've done already. We're now adding on the new bit, stage 3. And when, just a little tip, when you're pushing, I don't know how easy it is on your Equicizer. This is what I was saying to you the other day, how much of a spring there is. But let's just see if we can always have a contact with the reins. The reins don't want to be looped. They want to be nice and tight, like elastic band, always having contact. I'm not sure if you can do that on there because it looks quite loose. So this might really be hard to do, but let's find out. It's fine. It's not gonna do any harm. Right, stage 1, 5 seconds. I'll count you down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go to stage 2. 5, 4. That's good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. Now let's just start pushing. Pushing. It's going to be hard because that's dropping very low and it's going to be hard for your balance.
Alright, position, right?
Pardon?
My position, alright?
Yeah, but it's just because the neck's going down too low, it's going to make it hard. But your position's not too bad. 5, 4. We won't do 30 seconds. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, why I was quick is because it's not going to do your core any problems, any harm, because it's going to be hard. It's going to be working your core all the time. But what we want to get now is once we've got your core sorted, okay, let's say it's this part of your body, yeah? This bit is your arms and your shoulders, okay? So if I was to stand this way, this bit here is the core. Now we want to be working your shoulders going forward. And You're just doing this at the moment, up and down, because that's kind of really all you can do, really, because there's not much of a spring to it, obviously, with that rubber band. But what we want to do is we want the core to be nice and still, and this is why, and we want to be going forward, full extension, coming slowly back, slightly back underneath, okay, because we've got to go forward and back, we know that. You can make it quite scientific. We've got to go forward and back. Okay, so when we go forward, how do we get back to go forward again? Clearly, we've got to come back. We've got 3 routes to come on. The same route that we pushed out on, okay? So you come back on the exact same route, kind of impossible. Think about it, it's like drawing the perfect circle. It's not impossible, but highly unlikely, okay? We don't go forward and come back on the top, because then we're rowing. We don't run backwards. So we go forward and we come underneath slightly. It might be millimetres. It might be to a point when you watch a race, which you want to start doing when racing gets going again. You want to be going, right, I'm listening to what Nick said. I'm going to see if I can see what he's on about. It's going to be very hard to see because you don't see it so clearly, depending on the rider, depending on the horse's gait.
If I, on the Skybox, if I've got some old racing on there,
Of course. Absolutely great idea. Yeah, I should have said that. Well done, mate. Brilliant. You can look at replays. You don't need to look at live racing. Yeah, well done. So, you're going to find it hard to see, but let's keep it scientific, if you like.
Yeah.
We go forward with our hands. We have to come back. How do we come back? 3 ways. Either on the same route, the same line, above or below. If it's above, we're going to be rowing. That takes us backwards. We want to go forward, over and under. See the action? And what does that remind you of?
When you did that thing with that lad on YouTube, when in the lad was in the pit,
That was, yes, that was.
I did see that on there. You were saying about that.
Same thing. But does it make sense? How does a horse gallop? A horse gallops by grabbing the ground, loading back up to grab the ground. So we don't want to be obviously doing this. You know, that's the serious exaggeration. But to explain it, how we actually push, that is how we push. We go forward and we come underneath slightly. It might be wide, it might be narrow, but we go forward underneath. You look at my hands. Here, I'm coming underneath, look. Forward. Now, if I go on wide and gathering up and getting a wide bridge, which is another thing that obviously we'll go into detail with further, like further down the line, I'm actually coming underneath and going over, aren't I? You can see that. But it's not always so clear. But it's good to know why we do what we do, so we know how to do it better. It's called awareness, being aware of why we're doing what we're doing. And clearly, if you understand the way we learn and why we do the different techniques, it makes sense. Yeah, that's obvious, isn't it? So with that in mind, even on your equisizer, which has got hardly any spring, try and go forward more, not up and down. Does that make sense? And again, why forward is because that's where the energy's going, that's where the horse is galloping, that's where. Does that make sense? Yeah. So instead of up and down, keep this core obviously still, and that's the whole point of keeping it still. Forget the kicking. I know we have lots of jockeys kicking, but we don't need to do that on an equisizer. Then when your core's nice and still, we have this shoulder movement of pushing, full extension, coming back up when the neck comes up. When the horse goes to reach the ground, we full extend with our arms. Very hard to do, Charlie, so don't be put off by the fact that you won't be able to do it correctly, because that description of pushing is top quality, you know, but I need to explain to you where I want you to go. It doesn't matter if it's going to take you 6 months. We then have the stepping stones to get there, don't we? Yeah.
Am I going from when I'm up, down, am I going full extension?
Full extension, but the hard bit is, and this is what I was saying to you, because your neck is not on a tight spring, it's going to be hard to have the reins tight, even though you're letting go. Tight coming in when you're coming back underneath yourself, when the horse's head comes up. Tight when you're going forward. Imagine if that rope, or those reins, let's call them reins, imagine that was one big long elastic band. Would the elastic band ever go slack?
No.
It can't, can it? Well, that's what we want to ideally do with those reins, is have them tight all the time.
Yeah.
Because again, with half a ton of horse, we kind of have a back end and we kind of have a front end. Obviously, we've got the middle, but let's just forget that for now.
Yeah.
And you've ridden enough horses, no doubt, even if they've been ponies when you've been a younger, when you've been younger, 12, 11, 12 or whatever. If you're holding on to the horse with the bit, you're keeping them together more, aren't you?
Yeah.
Especially a young thoroughbred. And that's what you need to do. You can't be loose on a horse, because then they're going to start wandering around, especially a youngster. So imagine you've got two halves of a horse, a back end and a front end, and you need to hold that big, heavy animal together. How do you hold them together? By not being loose on the... Yeah, exactly. Now, I don't mean pulling the back teeth off it. I don't mean taking a nice tight hold if the horse is keen, because that's a different thing altogether. But when we want a horse to go forward in a race, we need to have that contact. Obviously, at the end of the race, when the horse is on his fore and he's at his absolute kind of most tiredness, if you like, the full extension, your reins are going to be loose. Of course they are, because he's doing his best. He's at full gear. But the lead up to that, we need that connection. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because where does a good horseman, it all comes from the hands, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Make sense?
Contact, slowing down.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's work on stage 1 and 2 real quick, which you're always working on. Now we've got a new stage, which is completely new, especially on this Equicizer. But let's just see if we can try and have a contact. No need to go fast, little's more. So maybe go slower, but try and get your arms going forward rather than up and down.
Okay.
Mate, just have a go. I've got this video to show you afterwards, so don't worry about, and you'll learn a lot more from the replay.
Am I pushing now?
Well, we'll do stage 1 real quick. Always working on the foundation. Into stage 2 real quick. Right, away you go. Try and go forward more and get your shoulders and your arms full extension going forward. And just doing that's going to be good enough. Pull your stick through to the left.
So I go.
Yeah, see, this is where it's hard. This is where, when you let me just get my picture back. When you pull your stick through, just like when you're cantering, you can't afford to have the reins go loose, because the horse is going to go that stride faster. So we still need a contact with the reins as we pull the stick through. You need contact with the reins as you pull the stick through. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe let's not pull the stick through at the moment. Let's have a separate session on that, just sat down doing it with the reins tight, rather than doing it all together sat up off the saddle. So forget that. Keep your stick in your right hand, and we'll go through the 3 stages again. Stage 1. Chest out, shoulders back. Stage 2. Chest out, shoulders back, working those muscles, and away you go. Start just pushing gently, gently. Try and throw those hands forward, 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 instead of up and down. Forward, you've got to get that rolling motion. Think of the way the horse gallops. We'll do 10 seconds, because you're still working your core. It's all benefiting. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2. Come on, punch. 2. I want to see you hurt. 2, 2, 1. Well done, mate. Sore on your face. That's what I wanted to see. Well done, mate. You've improved immensely from just one session, honestly. And I promise you now, when you get, hopefully, you can get a Raceword Equicizer. That'd be amazing. I can definitely sell you one. I've got someone who wants to sell one, so I can organise that, not a problem. Not too expensive, definitely second-hand price. you will improve again. Because what I'm finding hard to do with you is doing that pushing with the neck being a little bit loose.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah, really good, mate. I'm impressed. Just your effort's brilliant. Your attitude and your dedication is brilliant. Brilliant. Don't forget that video that I did on Instagram, the NB Academy, Jockey Academy. You can do that yourself.
Is that the one with the lady on the floor?
Yeah, Jessica, my daughter, doing it on the floor. Yeah, in the academy. She's got her stance, keeping her legs still, obviously, getting her back nice and low, and then just rolling forward with a can of beans. Or if you've got two weights, rolling forward. That is what you need to do, Charlie, because at the moment, be it the horse, be it the equicizer, or just you're not used to doing it, because at the end of the day, you've probably never pushed a horse out. We need to get you going forward with your shoulders and your arms, rather than, we don't want to get in that habit of going up and down. Does that make sense?
If I watch your videos, and then shall I send you a video?
Of course.
On the
Absolutely. Send me a video of your whole body, either in the garden or in your bedroom. I mean, if you can get a mirror, you can get yourself nice and sorted. Send a video, a can of beans in either hand, or if you've got a 2 kilo weight in either hand, and forward. See how I'm going forward, full extension, and I'm round the ears. My head's down. I'm coming back, but I'm coming under, and I'm forward. That movement of going forward, back and forward, I now need to see you start to do. And I think we need to come back onto the ground or off the equicizer and just get your muscle memory right for your shoulders to go forward more.
Okay.
Get a video of that and send it to me. You can send me as many as you want, and I can look at them when I have time. I can give you the feedback. But as long as you're doing it correctly and you're doing it regularly, spaced repetition, you're going to improve.
But already the position feels more easier to get into.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. You'll get to a stage. It might be a month. It might be 2 weeks. I think with you, it's probably going to be another week or two. And I've said this to you before, where you'll do it, you'll pop up into the position automatically. You're not using your consciousness to go, hang on, I've got to think about what I'm doing. Shoulders, back, arms, head. You're going to do it subconsciously. But you'll only get to that point if you do it over and over and over and over and over again.
Like when you learn to ride, you don't just go onto the all-weather straight away. You slowly learn to trot, learn to canter.
Absolutely. If you were to ride your horse today, or if you were to go riding out tomorrow, you wouldn't consciously think, oh, hang on, right hand, left hand on the reins. Because you can ride and you've ridden enough to be able just to not have to consciously think about how to ride. But this new bit, you're having to consciously think. But that won't last forever, the more you do it correctly.
It's like learning to talk, isn't it? Because like when you start off, you're not perfect. You don't know everything.
Well, I'll go on.
And you slowly improve enough to have.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then you start learning other languages.
Yeah.
Right, a little bit of homework for you.
Yeah.
So you need to find out, because basically we go through 4 stages of learning in anything and everything we learn. There's no what's the word, exception. So you've just said it, great example, learning to talk. At one point, I couldn't talk as a baby. Same with you. At one point, when you were a baby, you couldn't talk. So from going from a stage of not knowing how to talk to how to talk, we go through 4 stages. That's 3, 4. 4 stages. I want you to find out what those 4 stages are.
What, for riding?
No, for riding. It's for everything. Anything and everything we learn, from not knowing to then knowing and doing it correctly. We go through 4 stages. I want you to find out those 4 stages.
Okay.
Because everything you do, riding, 4 stages, learning to walk, to talk, to ride a bike, to drive a car, you name it, there's not one exception. You go through 4 stages. I want you to get those 4 stages. You can either text them to me, mate, or our next session, you can just verbalize them to me.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, shall we have one more crack at all 3 stages together?
Yeah.
Away you go. Stage 1, we'll go 5. Good. That's getting better each. That's getting better in this session. That's got better. 4, 3, 2, 1. On to the second stage. Come down a little bit, not too much. Don't lose that back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's push for 10. Going forward. Push those hands forward. Don't be worried about coming off the neck a little bit. 10, 9, 8. Go forward, not down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice one, Charlie. Good. Just go forward with your arms. You're going to have to come off the neck a little bit. Let the neck go down and let your hands go forward. Of course, we don't want our hands up here. Of course not. But I want to get you going forward with your hands. I had a girl the other day, Imogen Matthias. She's got her racewood. And she was doing what you're doing there, but she dropped the reins completely on purpose, and she started just pushing forward without the reins. Maybe that's what we'll do with you on here once you've done a day or 2 of doing it on the floor, groundwork.
Yeah.
Because that neck's restricting you. You're thinking you need to stay on the neck, and the neck's going down. We want your hands to go forward. And see how my wrists change? They come back this way, forward. Back this way. And we can be wide, we can be narrow, wide, narrow, wide, but it's creating that energy to go forward.
So when I come down, it's...
So you're going down, because the neck's going to... We want to go elbows in, we can be wide, but we don't want to be elbows out. We can be wide, but elbows in. Yeah? Forward. Look how I'm forward. See how you're here. You're here. Come here. Diving into a pool. There we go. Come slightly under and back. And forward. But as you come back, Charlie, don't have your hands like this. Turn your wrists this way. It's the way...
Go from, like, riding a bike to going normal.
Yeah, so basically that's the full extension here. When we come back, we don't come back here. It's just the way we're built. We're not built to come back this way. Look.
Yeah.
We come back this way. See how tighter I am?
Yeah.
So look, if I came back the way you come back, look what happens. Elbow comes out. So from here, there's a reason why we turn. It might be a little bit like this, but when I'm doing a template and you know explaining it, I've got to make it black and white. So that's the full extension. Then we turn. See how my elbows are nice and tight with my body? We don't want to be doing this, because then we start flapping. And what happens then, we don't take off, but we're not as wind resistant, are we? So elbows in, oops, elbows in here, forward. See how I come underneath? Forward. We don't want to be too much underneath, and then we're doing big circles, of course not. But we definitely come back underneath. Turn the wrists, come back. That's better. Don't come so low. Don't come so low with your wrists. Oh. Turn those wrists. That's better. See now how your shoulders are rolling. Your shoulders now are starting to roll. Where we could go back to the video when you were doing this and your shoulders weren't rolling. They were going up and down, look. See? But now when you're doing this, they're starting to move. They're starting to roll. Don't come out. Don't come out. Stay in. Yeah? But we want the body, we want the posture to stay correct. What you're doing there. That's why we have the mirror or a video, and we work the posture, then do the pushing.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Well done, mate. You'll get there. I promise you. You're a quarter of the way there already. Any questions?
No.
That's good. That's good. Let me know. I will contact the person who's got this horse for sale. Well, this equisizer. See what she wants for it, and I'll let you know, mate.
Cool. Thank you.
And then you just make your own mind up. You can even contact her directly, and then do as you please. I know she definitely wanted to sell it. That was a while ago, but I can't see why she'd want to not sell it all of a sudden. You know, so.
Yeah.
Right, I'll send you this video, mate. I won't put it into my coach's eye because the explanations are good enough, and you know, there's a lot of talking basically. Usually, I put them in my coach's eye when you send the video to me, so I can then. But I don't have to do that. Hence, I didn't do it with the last one. But I will put it on YouView, YUVU, and if you can't get it, it will be on YouTube. But it will just help the views on that channel, and it'll help us all out.
Okay. Cool.
All right, mate. Any questions, text me, pictures send to me, and we'll recommence tomorrow or whenever. Just give me a date.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, all right then, mate. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.